Welcome in, everybody, to Fantasy Pros MLB. This is Leading Off Live, brought to you by Bet365. Make sure, if you're going to place your bets, you do it with our sponsor, Bet365, and use that promo code Leading Off when you do. Bet $5, get 150 in bonus bets. The Welsh and I doing much better in the bets yesterday. Back on track. Welsh is red hot. He is en fuego. I am back to life as well. The home run calls just continue to shine for Joey P. They're so bright, Welsh, that I gotta put the shades on because I can't even see. I can't even see because the home run calls. And I heard there was controversy, because it was a doubleheader and people don't like the doubleheader things and it's difficult. To which I say, hey, I brought this contest over here when I came to Fantasy Pros. So I kind of feel like full heel Joe Pizzapia can take any home run he wants. Now, it wasn't the second game, which was not the makeup game. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm taking the home run. And Welsh, in honor of WrestleMania, I'm going to cut a promo here. There's nothing you can do about it.
I got to tell you, we had a group chat and we had Wonky in there saying like, oh, too bad this doesn't count. I can't believe it. I'm going to defend Joe. I'm going to defend Joe. We were clear. We were pretty clear again yesterday. I even made it clear. I was like, Joe, you're only getting the second part of the doubleheader. And you're like, oh, yeah, I know. I should get them all.
I'm not taking the 8 at-bats. I can only get game 2.
No one corrected you. One corrected you. So you know what? I'm putting it on the board. I don't care what I agree with you. I don't care what anybody says. You can take that homer and you can be at the top of the board. I'm not even on the board anymore. I stink so hard. I'll never get a home run call again. I'm the worst. I'm the worst home run caller of all time.
No. You're doing very well on the betting. Make sure you follow Welsh on Betting Pros. But again, a lot of baseball to get to today. And look, this is fun. Guys, gals, it's not like I can win the bat anyway. I work here. So this is just about me trolling you and having fun.
Yeah.
This is just pride and nonsense and entertainment. So lighten up. It's a home run contest. It's not like I'm going to win the Vlad bat. And you know what? Maybe I will. Maybe that's what's going to happen. Ooh. Maybe I'm going to take this so seriously that I'm going to say, you know what? If I am at the top of the board, I do win. It doesn't say that like employees can't, just as the winner of the home run contest. I'm in the home run contest. So I don't know, Welsh. I maybe there's a line there.
And then when everybody gets mad and you just be like, look at my bat, and then snap it over your leg and be like, it's mine. I can do what I want with it.
In September.
Hey, how are you holding up, by the way? I heard a little earthquake on the East Coast.
There was an earthquake in New Jersey. Not the first one I've experienced in New Jersey, believe it or not, but certainly one of the bigger ones. Very weird way to start your late morning. Everything was very calm. And next thing I know, the whole house is shaking. My neighbor is coming up saying, was it your house? Was it my house? Is everything? Nope, it's an earthquake. And then, of course, you turn on the news and 4.8 in New Jersey. So good times there. I think it's because the earth is moving, knowing that I'm going to be attending WrestleMania. So everything's getting the earth.
It was the earth shaking from you making a game 2 doubleheader home run call and the collective groaning and crying about all of it. I'm from California, by the way. So I'm like, you little East Coasters and your little earthquakes. Are you scared?
Yeah, I mean, this
I've
is like
through so many.
Day in the park for you probably, but you can see the board right now. If you want to see the board, there it is. Up to 3 already. Oh man, you're gonna love my weekend call too. So that is 6 homers in 3 days if you're keeping score at home, and I am. Let's get to the other headline. So Pete Alonso hits a home run. The Mets win a game. How awesome! Plus the booty man Jose Butto, 1 earned run, 6 innings. I told you about the booty man.
You were right.
Man's a thing.
You were right on the boots. Did you see that? What was it? God, it's Nimmo, Lindor. And God, it's somebody else, like 3 for 55. Like, how bad? What is going on with your Mets offense? And are you at all worried about specifically a guy like Lindor? It's been like heavy overreaction season. He has looked atrocious and bad. And your Mets offense has been so bad. Good for you guys picking up a win and everything like that. But are you worried about Lindor?
No, I'm not. I mean, look, like Lindor can be streaky at times. I think the baseball card stats will be there at the end of the day. I think it was a rough start. I think a lot of the stopping and starting and not playing is really tough too. And guys, I mean, how many games have they had rained out already and postponed? You know what I mean? Like, that's not a good rhythm coming out of spring training to go into, opening day, that's not happening. Then you have a game and then you're not playing 2 days later. I mean, it's been a lot of that.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried at all because I think it's been so bizarre. And yes, Freddie Dinger, I am the final boss. That's me. Yeah, that's just gonna have
That'd be
to
a
deal
good
with it.
shirt for you. You should pick that up at WrestleMania this weekend.
I might. I'm a Cody crybaby, but I do believe that if the final boss, I do have the acknowledge me shirt. I was gonna wear it today, but I think at some point I'm gonna wear it on the weekend. So maybe on Monday we get some more homers from my next guy. I'll wear the
Oh
acknowledge.
my God.
We have to acknowledge this. We had some inside information on this. And we kind of shared it on one of the podcasts towards the end of the very end tail end of the season that Eury Perez was not going to pitch in 2024. We had that on good authority. And now we all know Eury Perez, Tommy John. So he is done for the season. Hopefully back at some point next year. Him, Sandy Alcantara, all those guys are out. This just means to me that Max Meyer is a definitive ad this week. Like if he is, and he is still floating out in most of your leagues, 50% rostered right now, right around there. To me, he's a must add because I don't see him going away anytime soon. Puck has been terrible. To me, that's the big takeaway fantasy wise. I don't know what you want to say about long term with Eury Perez because look, Perez was, I think top 3 prospect in baseball for pitching, right? Somewhere in that range.
I mean, he was like the
top 5.
Yeah, like arguably the top pitching prospect. Top 5, top 10. As far as Eury Perez goes, this is devastating. If you're in a rebuild, if you're a rebuild dynasty team, I am trying to go get him. He's still young, he's 21 years old. I mean, this is a trade you go make with a team in a dynasty league, and if you're playing for the future. I don't think I'm going to have a lot of interest in the short term into next year because 12 months is going to be the start of the year. Then he starts throwing. Like, how long is it going to take for him to revamp? I cannot imagine until mid-May of next year, if not till June. So it's going to take out this year and next year. What I do think this is going to do is this, on top of just how atrocious this team is, it is going to speed up a little bit these moves that we heard a rumor. There's a rumor going around yesterday or 2 days ago that the Marlins were making a lot of contact in the offseason about potentially moving Luis Ariz, moving Jesus Luzardo.
Yeah, Luzardo was the one we knew about too.
I think this team is going to unload this roster. And I actually kind of think in the next 3 weeks, we could see one of these big pieces fall. So what this will do is I think this will create opportunities for some other players. I don't think you're going to see Jazz and I don't think you're going to see Berger go anywhere. I think everybody else is relatively on the table for this team. And I think it creates some other opportunities. You said Max Meyer. I'd say Braxton Garrett is another guy. He's, I think he's starting a rehab assignment. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He'd be a guy I'd be interested in looking at, but I think there's going to be moves. It might create some prospect potential down the road here, but if you get Luis Ariz and another team and scoring runs, he might become a little bit more valuable. But I do think in the next month or two, we might be seeing a completely different roster. And I think sooner rather than later, we're going to start seeing them make some moves because this team is bad. I mean, they had their first opportunity yesterday. They're 0-7. They had a lead and they blew it 0-8. They do not have a win as we were doing this show.
Crazy. Here's a question from Big Dance. Would you drop Kyle Harrison for Max Meyer?
I would not.
I would not either. That's right on the border, though.
Yeah,
I'd like to have both of them. Find somebody else, Big Dance, to drop.
I don't think Max is going to go deep into games. I don't think they want him to go deep
Harrison
into games.
Will either, to tell you.
All these guys are falling apart left and right. They should pitch every.
Harrison's just in a better ballpark with a better team. Like that. That's.
But he also can go bigger innings. He can go bigger
Probably.
innings. Marlins should have a 3-inning cap on every single pitcher. They should do the Dodgers thing. They should 18-man rotations, 3 innings. They should just have no bench bats, and they should only have pitchers. I don't know what they're doing, but it's not working. They're all getting hurt.
I like this. Eric saying, I need some points from Matt Olson this weekend, so could you please give him a home run call? That'd be great.
Yeah, I was wondering, are you for sale? Are you for sale?
I'm going to lay hands upon the next person to hit a home run. You want your fantasy points, you come to leading off, and I shall lay the hands upon you. That's right. We're going to go full, old school preacher kind of stuff here.
We need, I was going to say, we need maybe a, the wig for the fortune teller. We need
everything's wigs with,
or not wig, but the hat, Yeah. Oh, you should wear your wig to WrestleMania this weekend. You would look like a wrestler.
I probably would, but I don't think my daughters would sit with me. If I did, that should be fun. Ryan Weathers gave up 3 runs in 5 innings, but 6 strikeouts. Cha-ching for the Welsh. He had the 4.5 on the over. JD Martinez could join the Mets as early, apparently, as next week. So that would be good. He's doing the minor league stuff possibly today, was the rumor he might be starting there. So that would be great. Connor Joe continues to be great. 31-year-old Connor Joe, 9 for 26, 9 runs, 1 homer, 7 RBIs through 6 games, hitting 346. Is this just a little hot streak for Connor Joe? Should people be picking him up off the waiver wire?
Where did you come from? Where did you go? Where did you come from, Connor Joe? No, I mean, he's not like completely like a no-name guy. Like, he's been floating around. Our boy Frank Stanfill has always had a love for him. The reason why he's worth it is the Pirates are scoring some runs. They're going to be a competitive team, and he's leading off. Like, they like to give him the opportunity to lead off. His barrel percentage is up this year. Expected batting average looks really solid. He's not hitting the ball very hard, but he's going to score some runs. I'm cool with it, but I think he's just kind of like he's a replacement level player. You're playing it for kind of runs and stuff like that. But I love his name. So, where did you come from? Where did you go?
By the way, Wicks is on the mound. John Wick is on the mound today.
Yeah.
For the Cubs.
I'm thinking I'm back.
He's with Jordan Hicks, not pitching today.
Imagine if they pitched against it. We got to get them to pitch against each other this year.
Oh no! How will you even understand what's happening?
That'll break my brain.
Hicks
my world
Wicks
will fall apart. It'll be like an incursion, like a Marvel. Like the skies are going to open up.
Well, did we have that last year? Did Kenta Maeda ever face Kodai Senga? I think that happened. I think that was your nightmare last year. I want to say it did. I'd have to go back and look. All right. Before we get to some fun stuff here on the board, don't forget, drop your comments below. Subscribe to the channel, Fantasy Pros MLB. That's it. That's all you got to do to win the Trophy Smack Championship trophy. Look at this thing. It's glorious. It's fantastic. Again, free. We're giving it away to somebody, so make sure you drop your comments. But again, it's so easy to get involved in these contests, and we're up to 19.1K on the subs. Very nice, everybody. Very nice. So the A's are moving.
Say what we're going to do to 20?
No, not yet. Not yet. We got to think more on that. We could take, suggestions for the Peanuts and Cracker Jacks, perhaps. The A's are moving, but they're not quite to Las Vegas yet. They're moving to Sacramento in a minor league park, which is fitting because they're a minor league team right now, starting in 2025 for 3 years. What are your thoughts on this, Welsh?
I mean, I don't know. Like, I've never not cared while also understanding like how frustrated you could be. I don't know how many A's fans there are anymore. Like, that was what I grew up with. My family, they were A's fans. I understand the history of the team. This, I grew up in Northern California, everything like that. But like, I'm at the point, like, who cares? It's the team doesn't care about you. They don't care about the fans. They don't care about the players. I don't really have a problem with them playing in a minor league ballpark. I have a problem with like, what the hell's going on? Like, what are we talking about, Sacramento? Why are they not in Vegas? Why is any of this released? I think it's stupid. I'm going to be so excited for them to go play in a minor league ballpark, and they're going to just have insane offensive numbers next year with quad A players across the board. The team won't spend any money. Their rosters are embarrassing. I don't know. I think it's a joke. I think it's an absolute joke of baseball that even baseball's allowing this. It's crazy.
It is the worst ballpark I've ever been to. I mean, I've been to 15 of the 30 major league ballparks. Maybe not that less now because some have been turned over into new ones, but it is the worst by far. I mean, in
I've only been to like 3 or 4
imaginable way.
Yeah,
it is the worst.
Yeah,
and that's saying something because, like, I spent a lot of time at the Vet in Philly. I spent a lot of time at some other ones that were pretty crappy. This was by far just the worst location, the worst sight lines, the worst food, the worst everything's falling apart. It's
here's what I don't understand. Well, there's like possums in the bathroom.
I like Tim's suggestion. Have him go play in the Field of Dreams field. I think that's a great idea. Let's go.
Why am I not understanding this? Why don't they just finish there? Is Oakland so excited to tear down the stadium? Like, why don't they just finish? I don't understand what's happening with any of it. They're just
Paradise like put up a parking lot. I don't know. Speaking of fun things, 10 major league teams have an OBP under 300 right now. I thought that was a fascinating stat according to Codified Baseball. I thought that was really sort of just, I know it's early, but 10 teams with an OBP as a team OBP under 300.
I think I know the worst. Do you have it in front of you?
I don't, but I mean, I guess it would be the A's, or maybe it's the Rockies, probably.
Royals. I'm pretty sure it's the Royals. I was just doing all my work. Here, I'll look right here. I was doing my work this morning for my bets, trying to put a lot into it. And I think the Royals have the absolute lowest. I mean, I don't even know if I can find it real quick, but I think they have the lowest walk. I think they have the lowest walk percentage in baseball right now. So that's why I think it's them. Yeah, let's see. Kansas City has a 5.9% team walk percentage, which is the absolute lowest by almost a full percent from any other team. So
crazy.
Yeah.
All right, let's get to a little 3 up and 3 down. Seth Lugo allowed 1 run and 6 2/3 on Thursday. CJ Abrams 2 for 5 with a solo homer, and Tanner Bybee allowed just a run and 5 1/3, 9 strikeouts for him. We got the under in that game though, still 4-2 was the score, so snuck in that 7.5 under. Bada bing. Sometimes the unders are good. We're going to bring back the unders here. You know, Justin Timberlake brought sexy back. We're going to bring sexy back, but also unders. We're going to do both of those things. But again, the under, we like the overs, the sexy, it's fun, but the under sometimes are the ones you really got to look. And there's a few on the board today, Welsh. There's a few 8.5 strikeouts, and I'm already looking at the unders because that is a big number. Typically.
2 of my bets are unders. I'm a little bit worried about it. Unders make me feel very uncomfortable because you're just sitting, you're like, no. And you're like, good one. Like, I feel it's a lot more intense for unders than it is overs for me.
Yeah. If you've got questions, by the way, drop them in the chat as we head into the weekend too. We're happy to try to answer.
Yeah, it's a fun Friday.
You might have. It's a fun Friday. That's what we do. 3 down. Josiah Gray was lit up, 6 runs, 4 1/3. Pablo Lopez, 4 runs, 3 earned, 5 2/3 innings. He took the L against the Guardians. Lance Lynn, 4 runs on 8 hits over 4 2/3. The Cardinals, can we talk about them for a second? Yikes. One of the worst teams in terms of strikeouts. Nolan Gorman can't hit water if he fell out of a boat. Jordan Walker, we talked about him the other day, getting lifted for a pinch hitter. Cardinals are all kinds of a mess. Sonny Gray is working his way back, but geez, Welsh, like I said it going into the season, I did not think this weird patchwork veteran pitching staff that the Cardinals were going for was going to work out. So far, it has not, but so far the bats have been kind of equally miserable. I'm still looking at the Cubs, man, and I think the Cubs are the class of this division. Am I wrong?
I know, not really. By the way, how you did it, you look like a certain person. You're like, they're terrible. Like you did your face and how you did it.
I hate him so much I can't even do the thing. I'm not even.
Yeah, that was why I picked on them yesterday. My bad. Ryan Weathers is not a great pitcher. His velo had been up. He's got this really good sweeper. He's a solid pitcher. Had a really good performance. In that game, I watched that game because I bet Ryan Weathers over 4.5 strikeouts, and we did nail it. He was so inconsistent. When the sweeper was on, and because he was throwing it so much, guys weren't able to pick up the fastball, and he was getting some strikeouts, like fastball just straight in the zone. But he was throwing so many pitches just in the dirt, garbage pit, hitting dudes, 4 straight walks. He was not good. But the Cardinals still made him a worthwhile bet and a worthwhile fantasy start last night. So with it, I don't know what's going on with them. They're one of the highest strikeout teams in baseball right now. There isn't consistent contact. And it doesn't actually bode well to me for Victor Scott, even though he's played well, because I kind of feel like the Cardinals are in this place where when guys are healthy, they're like, we're going to shake it up. Like, we're going to start shaking some stuff up. They've got guys in the minor leagues. Thomas Ajayci is a player you're going to see at some point this year. You've got Dylan Carlson, who's going to be coming back. You've got Lars Nootbaar, who's going to be coming back. They've got options all around the field. I wouldn't be shocked if they're the type of team that does shake stuff up. I hope it just doesn't come at the expense of some of our favorite fantasy players. And I didn't even mention Tommy Edman right now. So they got to fix it. I don't know what the swing and whiff is about. They don't look cohesive. And that rotation's kind of a mess. Also, the Sonny Gray stuff. If you saw Sonny Gray's like, I'd love to pitch. He's like, I'm ready to pitch. I don't know why I'm not pitching. So I don't know what the hell's going on.
I guess not. Famous Jay has a question. What are the guys from the first show coming back?
Oh, yeah.
Those 2 guys are fun with the wigs. They're a good time with it. Or not wigs. Those are just real 2 other people. Here's a question here. Connor Joe or Andrew Benintendi? A real question here.
I'd be fine with Connor Joe. They're both streamable players. So at that point, I want the hotter play, and I think that's Connor Joe.
Yeah. And it's nice to see Tanner Bybee have a good start yesterday, too. That was solid. All right. As we continue on the injury path, let's continue to talk about the Cardinals. Wilson Contreras, negative x-rays on that left hand. Brendan Donovan was day-to-day with that right elbow contusion. Heimer Candelario day-to-day with the right elbow soreness. That's just one to monitor. Any concerns about this? Like, came out of the game because of the soreness. Like, this is one that you hate the lingering injuries. You hate the day-to-day injuries. Do you just sit him like say you're in daily transactions, you're just probably sitting him through the weekend and seeing what happens. Even if he plays well, if you have the luxury, I think you might want to do that this weekend. What do you think?
Oh yeah, no, I would. I'm not. I thought you were alluding to like dropping him or something like that. Like no, there's no chance.
I don't want to drop him. I just don't want to play him necessarily.
Yeah, like I play in a ton of leagues right now that have the Friday through Sunday, like the draft and holds where it's you set the lineup either for the week or you can change them on Fridays. Yeah, I wouldn't play him through the weekend. I'd wait till he gets back. But once he gets back into the lineup, I'm going to trust it. I just don't need to play it these first couple days. But worry is very minimal. I mean, at this point, I've seen it in the chat a little bit as some of you guys are talking amongst each other. Yeah, like it's overreaction time. Like I don't blame anybody for asking some of these questions. I don't blame people for like overreacting. But the best course of action is to chill. That's the best course of action, especially with higher end assets. Like when you're asking Benintendi or Connor Joe, that doesn't have a whole lot. If you're like, hey, last week, should I have picked up Garrett Crochet and dropped whoever the hell, lower on your roster, that doesn't have as big of impact. But when you start asking questions like, what Bryce Harper's really killing me before the 3 homers, or someone said Nick Castellanos in the lineup, you should hold tight. It's such a small sample size to make big reactions.
You have to think of this. I always tell people, think of week 1 as a rando week in the middle of July. That's it. That's how you think of it. And if you weren't going to overreact then to it, why are you doing it now? And if that's the case, check yourself. That's what
Michael said. So don't drop Julio. No, Michael, drop Julio for sure. Drop
him in the league that I'm in. Drop him there. Braxton Garrett will make his minor league rehab start on Sunday, and Eloy Jimenez is still out of the lineup because he's Eloy Jimenez with that abductor. Very frustrating here for the Eloy Jimenez folks. I get it. I mean, at least it didn't cost you that much this year. I think that's the only thing. By the way, something really to get excited about. I see Dan is excited about it. He's at PNC today.
Yes.
Garrett Jones versus Grayson Rodriguez. The Pirates are playing good baseball. Paul Skeens is a call away. I don't know, man. I kind of like this whole Pirates renaissance. It's been really fun. But today, that is a fun, if you're like a baseball dork as we are, it's a fun matchup today.
I haven't locked the bet. I'll tell you this. I want to bet Grayson stuff today really bad. Pirates, though, not a big swinging strike percentage.
I'm
not
huge away from that game.
Right
I
now.
just want to see it.
I'm going to probably bet. I bet Pittsburgh yesterday, money line, and that cash. I'm going to probably bet Baltimore. It's not on my official bet sheet here or anything today. I'm probably going to bet them because it's kind of a toss-up. I've been a little critical of the insanity of Jared Jones, but I will tell you, if Jared Jones comes out and slices and dices Orioles in the second start, we're going to have a fever pitch. But I kind of think that maybe Baltimore might get
this is a good test. Baltimore is a very good lineup, so this is a very good test.
I'll be watching that game, though. I will be watching that game. And who is it that's going out there? Is it Michael? Who the hell is that?
Dan.
I'm going to be looking for you, Dan. So put up a sign. Put up a
leading off sign. That's what we want to see. When you go to ball games, put up leading off signs. Leading off live. That's what we want to see. Here's a question from another Dan. This is Dan G802. Luis Castillo gonna get better? Yeah, the strikeout to walk rate's still good. He's been hit around a little bit. I wouldn't worry too much about this. In fact, Castillo to me is one of the best buy lows. Here's a question for you. Would you rather buy low on Logan Webb or buy low on Luis Castillo Welsh?
Is it same relative cost?
Yeah, let's say let's say this. I mean, I think they're relative cost. They were relative ADP, so why wouldn't they be relative cost?
I mean, they're about a round or two. They're about 2 rounds different because Castillo was going at the high. To answer your question, I'm both, but Luis Castillo. The Mariners pitchers, there's some struggles. Kirby, I'm not worried about it. Luis Castillo, I'm not going to be too worried about it. I think they are going to bounce back. This is great stuff, pitchers. I think Castillo will be fine. I think he's a great buyback. It's crazy. The best buying opportunities right now are pitchers that are great names that have struggled a little bit this season. Everybody is still freaking out, like everybody is freaking out about Kirby. Everybody would be freaking out at Castillo, Webb, those type of players. I'm going to buy on those because the averages are going to come back. These guys are going to bounce back unless they were just absolute pumpkins. And I do not think they are. I don't either. History does tell us 1 or 2 might kind of fail. Luis Castillo and Logan Webb and Kirby, those are not the 3 that I think are the type that are going to fall apart. I do not believe that at all.
The only thing is the Webb spring is the one thing I can't get out of my mind because it's been a while now where he seems to have been struggling. But I'm more on the Seattle guys as well, like you. Here's a question from Luke. which of these 4 stashes do I cut first? Skeens, Caminero, Bradish, Eduardo Rodriguez. Ugh, I don't want to cut any of these guys, to tell you the truth. Welsh, if you had to cut one, which one would you cut?
I probably would cut Bradish, but
that's what I would have done too.
I might also cut Caminero. Caminero is currently on the 7-day IL. He's going to have to ramp back up. I don't think the Rays have really not given us any indication that they're close. I don't think Caminero's
value. You know what I do, Luke? Look, if this is a redraft league, I put Skeens on the block right now. Just see what you can get. Especially he's got to start tonight, right? I believe he's starting tonight. I think I saw in the chat people were talking about it.
You gotta wait till he gets the call up. The minute he gets called out.
But do you see? Here's the thing. Let's say Skeens goes out there, goes 4 or 5 innings tonight, strikes out 8 guys again. 2 hits, something spectacular, right? People are going to start losing their mind. And you still have to understand there's limitations for him. So as much as he could be a league winner guy in season-long roto where he's going to give you quality but not quantity, in head-to-head formats, that's the guy I put on the block. Caminero will be back eventually. Caminero will be up. Bradish to me I'm with Welsh. That's the one guy that I would choose on that one. But again, I think you got to take a good hard look at that and think about the future of what your team is. And right now, Skeens is the guy that could bring back the best. And speaking of the future, bring yourself to the screen, my child. Put your hands on my hands. You can feel it reaching out to you. It's time, Welsh. It's that time again for the best bets
of the day
with Joey P and the Welsh here, brought to you by Bet365. Make sure you use that promo code leading off when you sign up at Bet365. Welsh, a really good day yesterday. We got back on track, even though I was screwing up the teams that were playing each other. It was a long day yesterday, but today I'm back on track. What am I going to do? I'm going to start in Oakland because, well, they're the Oakland A's. The Tigers -1.5 with Skubal on the mound. Give me the Tigers on that run line at -1.5, -108. They should have a good day today against Oakland. Now, surprisingly, Tariq Skubal as a high total, right? When we think for strikeouts, I'm going the under here. I think Skubal is terrific, but I'm going the under on the 8.5 strikeouts. It's very tempting. The A's strike out a lot. Skubal's very talented. I think they will limit him to 6 innings. I think he'll probably end up with 8. And I'm going to learn my lesson from the Spencer Strider thing, which is I always discipline for the most part. Take the under whenever I see 8.5. So I'm going to get back to good practice and have some discipline for a change. Aaron Nola, I'm going to do the alt strikeout line. Going to push this one up to 7+ in this matchup he's got today. So give me that one for the Phillies against the Nats, the alternate line at +134. Now, if you put the Tigers -1.5 versus Oakland, you put the Phillies on the money line at -180 and the Braves on the money line with Strider on the hill against the D-backs at -275. You can get that at 3-1. So go ahead and bet that at Bet365. Again, Tigers 1.5, Phillies money line, Braves money line, 3-1. That's your parlay of the day. Welsh, what do you have for the people on Friday?
All right, my bet of the day, which is out on the social, Griffin Canning with the Angels strikeout 6.5 under against Boston Red Sox. It's a little juiced. Around 130 is probably the spot that you're going to find it. Canning struck out 2 in his first start. That's not good. K percentage under 10. His fastball whiff rate, by the way, was 7%. And that outing was against Baltimore. Baltimore can get a few strikeouts down there. So 2 strikeouts, low K percentage. Fastball wasn't doing anything. Did a little bit on the changeup. But this number has nothing really to do, I think, with Griffin Canning. It's about the Red Sox because they have been striking out a whole bunch. Now, they have been striking out around 7, a little over 7 strikeouts against righties per game so far this year, which would equate to this number. But they've got the 12th best batting average against righties right now. So I just think the number is too high. I looked, Canning hit this number once in his first 5 or 6 games last year. He definitely is a 10K plus type of guy. But I think this team is still reeling a little bit. I think this number is just too high right now. And I don't think his stuff is in a place where I'm going to bet he's going to strike out 7 early on. So I'm going to go against Griffin Canning, and I'm going to go 6.5 under on the strikeouts. We were talking about this amazing matchup with Baltimore and Pittsburgh. Well, I'm going with the Nerfy on them. No runs first inning, Baltimore-Pittsburgh on Bet365. That is -120. This is the best odds, I think, out there right now. So I'm going to take the no runs to be scored in that first one. Jared Jones stuff, some of the best stuff out there. It's like stuff plus, if you want to take a look at that. I think he's going to pound the Baltimore Orioles with that early on, and that first inning is going to be rougher. I love Grayson. I think Grayson's going to take care of business in the first inning. So I really like that one. And then finally, going with the under that we talked about, you mentioned Strider. You mentioned Drake Skubal, by the way. I couldn't take that bet. So, God bless you for being able to have the balls to do that one. Well, I can't take the Drake Skubal's going up against the A's.
I know.
The A's have the worst strikeout percentage in the league.
I know. But what I keep coming back to is it's April and they're going to be very cautious with him. They should have this game in hand by the 6th inning against the A's. See, my thinking is not so much, just let him go out there and dominate. He's going to throw a no-hitter. It's not, he's going to dominate the A's. But you should be up 4-1, 4-0 on the A's. You should be able to take Skubal out of this game at 100 pitches. And if that happens, 8.5, getting to 9 strikeouts is going to be tricky in 6 innings. I'm not saying it's not impossible. It's going to be tricky. So I would rather take the under. I'm getting the better number on it. I'm getting better juice on it anyway. So
it's tricky. It's tricky for anybody. I don't disagree with that. It's just the A's are the worst of the worst. And that takes me to my final bet, which is actually a little parlay here.
What did we learn about Kirby the other day? If it looks too good to be true, it probably
sometimes it is. But I don't think it does look too good to be true because it's a huge number for Skubal. It's just I'm not touching it. I'm not touching it because of that. But I am touching these two. Phrasing. Bobby Miller, 6.5 strikeouts. I'm taking the under, and I'm parlaying that, and I'm taking that, by the way, because the Cubs, they're one of those teams, not a big, crazy swinging whiff rate. Cody Bellinger's improved, Seiya Suzuki. That's going to be a tough number to get to for Bobby Miller. And I'm pairing it with Spencer Strider, 8.5. Spencer Strider is the guy that can strike out 15 any matchup, but the Diamondbacks have been one of the lowest strikeout teams in baseball so far, under 10%. Their swinging whiff rate low. Perdomo, you don't strike him out. Strider's going to get to 8, I think. But I'm betting because this is such a low strikeout team that the Arizona Diamondbacks, their offense might get to Strider just a tiny bit, and they're just a really tough out. So where Skubal has the literal best matchup for strikeouts to get to 9, Strider has one of the worst in baseball, but it's Strider. So it's a little bit riskier, but I'm parlaying those two together, and I'm almost getting 2-1. I think it was plus 185 on bet365 to parlay the under of Bobby Miller and the under of Spencer Strider.
There you have it, everybody. Make sure when you make your wagers, you do them over on bet365. Use that promo code leading off, bet $5, get 150 in bonus bets, or first bet safety net $1,000 in bonus bets. Bet365, promo code leading off. Sign up today. All right, Welsh, let's take a look, shall we, at our leaderboard for home runs yet again, because it's time to call the home runs for the weekend. And there it is. So Pazzi at 7, Bows and Hose at 6, Joey P.
No, you didn't.
It says Bows and Hose. Bows and Hose.
O's. There's no H in there,
Bows
Joe.
and Hose. Bows and O's. That's what it said.
Gotta have me, my bows and O's.
Booby traps.
The Pinta, the Santa Maria.
On this and try to beat Evil Joe, that you join our Discord, fantasypros.com/chat. Look, Christian Yelich loves it.
Oh, he's so happy.
You love it. Again, join today. Remember, Wednesday afternoons after the show, we do the bonus show, cleaning up over there. We're doing the home run contest there. We're doing all kinds of things there. So, Welsh, that brings us to home run calls for the weekend. And as my children are out there right now waiting on Father Joe to give them the latest of the home run calls, I'm going to give you another home run call for the weekend. Juan Soto in New York. The little tiny ballpark. That earthquake you felt earlier in the tri-state area, that was Juan Soto coming home, baby. That's what it was. Juan Soto coming home to the Bronx in the little tiny wiffle ball field that is Yankee Stadium. I want to see Juan Soto go yard this weekend multiple times. Boy, oh boy. And let me tell you, if he does, I'm going to be out Monday.
Oh my God.
The joy of watching the show as I'm traveling back and seeing my name on that leaderboard at number 1, it's going to feel pretty good, Welsh. It's going to feel pretty good. Welsh, where are you going for your home run call today?
Yeah, well, I'll be full hosting, so we'll have to
That's right.
see if that board makes
be here with
show.
Welsh. Tune in. They're the best. It's going to be amazing. Bogman to Welsh on Monday, 12:30 Eastern here on the channel. Go ahead, Welsh. What do you have?
Right. All right. By the way, had you been betting your home run calls, you'd probably be up like 20 units right now if you were betting.
I should have been. Calls. It's funny because every day I put my bets in the morning, and then I make my home run call, and I always forget to go bet the home run call. Which maybe that's it. Maybe that's too greedy. Like maybe that's the secret sauce. I don't know. But
I get weird about. I feel like if I weren't betting it and then I started to, I would be like, that's what's going to curse it. Same thing. Like I'll talk on here, be like, hey guys, look, I was 3-0, but I don't like to like, I don't think if I start sharing my bets, like, hey guys, I'm on fire, I feel like that's bad luck. So I have weird like luck things that go on. So I don't.
You have so many neurosis.
I know
a lot of time and energy.
Way beyond this. Home run call today. I'm going to Colorado. The winds are blowing out over 20 miles per hour over on that left field side. So boy, that seems good for righties. And guess what? Randy Arozarena against lefties is always money. I love Randy Arozarena today in Colorado, so I'm going to take him for my home run call. And I'm going to try to place him in some other stuff, maybe a little total base over. I'm going to play on Randy Arozarena as well.
Juan Soto plus 350, by the way, in case anybody wants to know today. So
we should maybe do it.
Who knows? And maybe I will, like Tim saying, win the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. I'm going to be very excited for WrestleMania weekend. Hopefully by Tuesday.
What's your call? You did the best bets. What's the main event? It's Cody Rhodes
night
versus
one
Rock.
Is Rock and Roman Reigns against Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins, and then night 2, Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. # finish the story. # we want Cody. I will be.
So who wins that one?
It's Cody time. We lost last year. They got a whole other year out of it. At the time, everybody was hurt. I was hurt. We were all hurt. We got over it. It's been really good. It's at a fever pitch right now. It's going to be amazing. I can't wait. It could be the greatest WrestleMania ever. And that's not hyperbole. Like, that's how good this card is. So I'm very excited about it.
What's the surprise? So last thing, what's the big surprise that happens? Just The Rock?
I think you get Austin. It's Philadelphia. I think you're going to get Stone Cold to show up on night 2. And I think that's going to be like a big moment there, because it's probably going to be Bloodline Rules night 2. That's what night 1 decides. And of course, then you're going to have everybody running in. You're going to have, it's going to be like the Avengers Endgame. Like, everybody's going to be all over the place. It's going to be wild. And then at the end of the day, I think that's what you get. So, so it's going to be.
Wouldn't it be better for Stone Cold to come in during the tag match and like stun The Rock so they can.
Now, so you got to set that up first. I think it's got to be a night 2 thing. You got to set up the Bloodline Rules. You got to set up the chaos, and then you let the chaos explode. So that's going to be fun. So enjoy your weekend of baseball, everyone. I will enjoy my weekend of wrestling. Stay safe in that tri-state area. No more earthquakes. We don't like that. It's been a great week. Appreciate all of you. Don't forget to subscribe to Fantasy Pros MLB. Check out my waiver wire video. I don't write anymore. That's silly. Welsh writes sometimes on fantasypros.com, but Welsh's trade videos out there too on the channel. Go check him out. Get ready for your weekend baseball, waiver wire, your trades, everything. And of course, a new version of the cycle came out yesterday too. So Mike Mayer and the Worm, check those guys out. Great stuff there by those guys. By the way, Mike Mayer's the kind of guy that likes his own posts on Facebook. I don't know how I feel about that. You know those people?
Yeah, I don't. I think that's a bad look. That's a bad play. Sorry,
like Mike. Your own posts on Facebook. Who does that? What
Mayer does.
On that note, that'll do it for us. But the story of the game goes on. For the Welsh, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. Enjoy your weekend.
Bye, friendos. Peace.